What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another news video. Now, everyone's still talking about CM Punk's return, but there are still a lot of news and rumors to report. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the news for today, and the following headlines are: a WWE Superstar is fired, Rusev says he's okay with the Lana love triangle, a big match is back on for the Survivor Series, Johnny Gargano scratched from NXT TakeOver War Games, Finn Balor is done with the Bullet Club, a WWE Superstar may be injured, some ratings bounce back, Bischoff in AEW, and Punk's potential opponents lining up. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. But let's get straight into the first story, as a WWE Superstar has been fired, or rather he quit. Now, the ongoing saga of Jordan Myles continues, with the disgruntled NXT star unleashing a profanity-filled video announcing, amongst other things, that he has quit the WWE. Myles has been upset with the WWE ever since they released a t-shirt he claims as racist, with the WWE responding that Myles approved the t-shirt design. Myles then engaged in a digital diatribe on a number of wrestlers, even going so far as to call Jay Lethal an Uncle Tom. Myles is now going by the name ACH, stating Myles was his slave name. However, as noted by Ringside News, Jordan, or should we say ACH, tweeted this explanation behind his name. "I wasn't chasing a dollar, I was chasing a dream. They didn't pick this name, I did. Michael Jordan is my hero, Myles because we have an African Spider-Man. When you say them together, it sounds like a heroic athlete to me. I'ma hold us down, but you gotta trust me." While ACH claims he quit the WWE, Pro Sports Extra's Brad Shepard tweeted, "A source in WWE noted ACH was actually fired and referred to him as insane." Shepard also commented that AEW has no interest in the performer. Myles' future remains unknown, but we'll keep you updated on any major developments, such as Myles suing the WWE. Next up, Rusev says he's okay with the Lana love triangle. Although he admits the story isn't something most wrestlers would go along with, Rusev discussed his enthusiasm for the storyline involving his real-life wife Lana leaving him for rival wrestler Bobby Lashley. In an exclusive interview with Digital Spy's Stephanie Chase, Rusev stated, "How can I not be happy? It's the hottest storyline in the whole WWE. It's been the hottest storyline for years. So of course I'm happy with it. Not many people are willing to do something like this, but we're professionals, so of course we're used to it. Being professional is what any actor does, you know, when they're going to step on stage or whatever. This is no different than that." During the interview, Rusev dismissed Corey Graves' comments that the angle should end and that it's ridiculous. Just because Corey Graves doesn't like it or somebody else, it doesn't mean anything. Obviously, the numbers speak for itself, with the highest viewed YouTube video in a long time. I'm stoked about it. It's just those super ultra fans in their basement that are trying to reject it. It is what it is, you know, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. The angle continues to boost the WWE's YouTube numbers, but there's still some doubt as to whether it's helping Raw's ratings. Next up, the first women's TLC match. Now, there have been a lot of firsts for the women's division in the past few years, as they've had the first Hell in a Cell, first Money in the Bank match, first cage match, as well as the first ever women's match in Saudi Arabia this year. However, WWE may be suffering from amnesia, as they are billing one of the matches on the TLC 2019 pay-per-view as the first ever women's TLC match between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair versus the Kabuki Warriors for the Women's Tag Team Championship. While this might be the first women's tag team TLC for the belt, it's certainly not the first, as last year didn't we already get Asuka versus Lynch versus Flair in a TLC triple threat match for the Blue Brand's Gold? Well, according to the arena that's holding TLC, the Target Center, they've listed the following matches: Roman Reigns versus King Corbin in a TLC match, Becky Lynch and Charlotte versus the Kabuki Warriors for the first time ever for the Women's Tag Team Championship in a tables, ladders and chairs match, Rusev versus Bobby Lashley with Lana, and more. Also note, the card is subject to change. Next up, a big match is back on for Survivor Series. Now, fans looking forward to the dream match between Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles and Roderick Strong we'll be happy to know it's scheduled to happen. Ringside News is reporting that while the triple threat bout at Survivor Series was in doubt, that's not the case. Reportedly, there were differing reports, something Brian Alvarez mentioned during Wrestling Observer Live. So yesterday we were going through the Survivor Series card and I told you the Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles and Roderick Strong match may be changed. There was a plan to change that match, but as of today, the plan has changed. So right now, that match is still on. Now who knows what will happen by the time Survivor Series rolls around, but right now, that match is on. Thank goodness, this is one of the most anticipated matches on the card. Why would WWE scrap it? Next up, Johnny Gargano is scratched from NXT TakeOver War Games. It looks like the big match that WWE was counting on for NXT's upcoming TakeOver War Games event won't be happening as one of the participants is dealing with a neck injury. According to Ryan Satin, the WWE was looking to book Johnny Gargano against Finn Balor, building off the angle where Balor turned heel by attacking Gargano during a confrontation with the Undisputed Era last week. But now it looks like Balor will be setting his sights on Matt Riddle. A potentially exciting match, but one not quite as high profile, at least by NXT standards, as Balor vs Gargano. And speaking of Finn Balor, he seems to be done with the Bullet Club. With the OC running wild on Raw and NXT, talk has come up about Finn Balor joining the OC and recreating the magic of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Bullet Club. However, during an appearance on Corey Gray's After the Bell podcast, Balor seemed to rule it out. Everyone talks about the Bullet Club reunion, but off camera, we're still boys. Whether it happens on screen or not, I don't know. Is it one of those things that it almost nearly happens and then it doesn't? Is that cooler? Or will it be the case of when we give it to them it's, oh, that was it? I was hoping it would be cooler than that. And you know, we keep talking about this 5 years. I've been in the WWE 5 years, so this Bullet Club stuff, for me, it's like 6 to 7 years ago. So trying to go back in time that far for me, I'd rather come up with something new and create something new, create something that people can talk about fresh, that can leave another legacy, another chapter in my career, and hopefully that's what we can do at NXT. Next up, Aleister Black is injured. Now, if you're wondering why Aleister Black hasn't been beating up enhancement talent on Raw, and seems relegated to cutting the same promo on an endless loop, well, according to Dave Meltzer, Black is currently dealing with a knee injury. Next up, WWE Backstage's ratings bounce back. A recent ratings show WWE Backstage doubled its ratings from last week's premiere episode. Before anyone starts thanking CM Punk for the ratings rebound, consider Punk was a last-minute surprise. Number 2, last week's ratings were 49,000 viewers with this week's being 100,000. The show still failed to make it into the cable's top 150 shows. Compare Backstage's ratings to that of this week's Total Divas. According to PW Insider's Mike Johnson, the 12th November episode of Total Divas on Entertainment garnered a 258,000 overnight viewers, up from last week's overnight audience of 191,000. Next week's ratings will be the real test when Punk makes his first reoccurring appearance to the show. Next up, Eric Bischoff in AEW. With Eric Bischoff free to work with any wrestling promotion that he wants, there's talk of whether he might work for All Elite Wrestling. Recently, Wrestling It reporter Nick Hausman talked to AT America about the chance of working in AEW, possibly as an announcer. Bischoff responded, "Hate to be so coy, but never say never, but highly doubtful as it's been there done that," Bischoff said during a media scrum at StarCast. "If I'm gonna engage in something, it's gonna be something that I really feel challenged by and excited about. That AEW commentary is like going back to the future, and I'm not sure that it would be a good fit for anybody." Anyone who listened to Bischoff's commentary on Nitro will probably tell you it was average at best and only preferable to the atrocious color commentary of Steve Mongo McMichael. Eazy-E also remarked about the authority figure, a role he's played more than once. "I think the authority figure is still necessary. Look, I'm 64 years old, and when I was a wrestling fan back in Detroit or Minneapolis as a young boy, you had your commissioner that would come in and make the final rule or one match. So the authority figure has been a really good part of the industry. But I think that's been overdone to the point where it's challenging to come up with a way to do it that's effective and entertaining without the audience feeling, been there, done that. NXT seems to use the authority figure well, but it's unknown whether AEW has any interest in such a role." And the last bit of news, Punk's potential opponents lining up. Although there's no evidence that CM Punk has signed to wrestle in the WWE, It's believed he only currently signed with Fox to work on WWE Backstage. Several superstars have tweeted their interest in locking horns with the straight-edge superstar. As we mentioned in our earlier video on Punk's return, Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt both hinted at looking for an in-ring rumble, and now Ricochet seems eager, commenting he's next in line. If Punk were to return, what opponent would you like to see in battle? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.